Life in scrubs.
Life in scrubs, perpetually in PJs.
I love it.
Yep.
That alone would sell me as a profession.
Yeah, just like you can always wear pajamas because
Yeah.
it's like scrubs are glorified pajamas. So back in the day, I should just say how we ended up with this topic is that I had a friend the other day just ask me one question about scrubs at work, and it spawned like almost a half an hour long conversation.
Oh, well, hopefully this can replicate that.
Yeah, something
because
like
when let's be honest, when you said, "Hey, let's talk about scrubs," I'm like, okay, scrubs are comfy. Dude.
No, you can talk about anything much longer than that.
Obviously,
Dave
I'm
Grant.
just making crap up as we go. Okay.
So nursing used to be like the gown, the cape, the white cap, the starched linens, like the hosiery and whatever all else. Or if you were like, I guess male nurses didn't used to be a thing, but orderlies, you had pressed pants. But
even when male nurses started becoming into the profession, they were very much still dressing as orderlies. Like that was their uniform.
Yeah. Yeah. So when did that switch actually start to happen?
2-3 years ago.
I'm gonna say maybe like the 90s. We should ask people who've been around a little bit longer than we have.
Like I imagine Allison at some point in her career was wearing the whole regalia. I'm
sure, and also
can we call it regalia? I mean, nowadays when you think about it, it's much more over the top than scrubs. So
yeah,
but maybe not regalia is not quite the right word.
Well, and I think it's progressed at different rates in different countries as well, right?
Well, I'm sure there's still countries where it is still the thing.
Yes, very much so. But now we all wear these glorified PJs.
Everybody, like anybody that's on the actual floor, at least at our on our unit, and for the most part in our site, if you're on the floor at all,
you're wearing scrubs of some sort. Yeah. So my friend was asking like the big question that she had. She's like, so do you have to buy your own scrubs, or is that part of like an employer pays for that? And well, we're now in a different units and different scrub situations, if you will, because at the start of the pandemic, our oncology unit started getting like deliveries and was part of the hospital scrub program, which is like just supplied very generic blues in our hospital mostly that are just delivered in a myriad of sizes to the unit. And they started that at the beginning of the pandemic as just one more break in the chain.
But not for every unit.
No, that's what I'm saying. On oncology.
The ones that were considered more high risk.
That's what I was trying to explain. It was one more...
I apologize.
Breaking one more chain link in the chain of infection was just getting scrubs that weren't coming from outside the hospital.
Well, actually, supposedly a lot of units try to get on board with that. When they started that and they were like signing up for it, and then the manager stepped in and like,
no, we're not doing this. I don't know what, but like it's not outside of like really like more specialized areas. At least in our hospital, the hospital doesn't supply scrubs, so the vast majority of nurses working in the hospital in like general med surge units are all supplying their own, which is like out of pocket expense, and it's just expected that you purchase your own scrubs, which came up this past week for me because I realized I actually only have like 3 sets of scrubs, maybe like kind of I can piece together 4, but like I haven't bought scrubs since well pre-pregnancy. So that's like 4 years ago now, and all of those scrubs actually that I had pre-pregnancy were like a couple of years old. And like, well, now that I'm no longer on a unit that supplies scrubs, I'm probably gonna have to buy some scrubs. But holy cow, I started researching or like just going and looking and shopping, and scrubs be expensive these days.
Is there a scrub shortage? So they've all been hit with inflation.
I feel like scrubs,
a supply management issue.
Maybe. I feel like scrubs have gotten so much fancier, and like since I started nursing too. Like when I started nursing, like okay, so first pair of scrubs that I bought for nursing school they ended up being Grey's Anatomy, which was like at that time the thing that was like the bougie brand. But they were like soft and comfortable and whatever all else. But ever since then, like all these other brands have come out that are making like really chic looking scrubs and like the jogger bottoms and whatever, like Figs and Janu, and
they're like Lululemon mixed with scrubs almost, like Like
they're like
sorry.
athleisure for the medical professions.
That's what I was trying to say with Lululemon. Like athleisure, not just athletic wear, but athleisure scrubs.
Yeah. Like
they look really comfortable.
They look great, and honestly, because you wear them every single day at work, and you wear them for long hours, and you're just like you're moving lots, you're doing lots. Like you want something that's really comfortable, but also very washable and like durable and gonna stand up. But here's the thing: that first pair of scrubs, that like light blue pair of Grey's Anatomy that I bought my first semester of nursing school, I still have those babies.
14 years.
Oh, yeah. That's 14 years ago now. Yeah, so, worthwhile investment. They're now like, we were talking about this too. They're now my like second night shift scrubs.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know. Okay, any other nurses who are actually listening can comment on this. Do you have scrubs in your repertoire?
That go or certain days.
Certain days. Like this is like, I wear these ones on my first day shift, or I wear these, like these ones are saved for my last night shift now because they're just like, they're a little older, but they're also the most like worn in comfortable.
Yeah.
They're great second night shift scrubs now.
So by the time you get to second night shift where your brain's kind of fried and you just don't really give a rat's ass anymore, then you'll be like, these are fine.
We do still give a rat's ass about patients, but we're just
no.
We don't like care about like yourself.
But look, you usually your
you don't
hair's
care how
not
you
quite
look.
done. Your
No.
makeup is probably not existent by this point.
Yeah,
you're just
You're
like
not
showing
putting it
up.
on.
You're just showing up. There's no cute doctors wandering around and stuff like that to impress like on day shift and stuff. So
yeah, you can wear the old scrubs on the night shifts, especially second night shift.
Well, see, mine has been a bit different. It's always like male nurses are not the majority, obviously. And while there are some male nursing scrubs that are decent, they're very few and far between, and they're not made for big guys. Right? Actually, I find that most scrubs, period, aren't just made. The cool scrubs aren't really made for bigger plus size people.
They're made for people of like my weight and width, but they're like 5 inches taller than me.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That's who they make them for. They make them for the girls who played volleyball in university.
My story with scrubs is a bit more traumatic. Because I hate buying scrubs. I really do.
Which is why Dave loves his hospital supplied scrubs.
So
now.
I've always had weight on. I've always been of a bigger body set. I don't know why I said it like that. I've always been heavy. In my nursing school, coming back from when I was living in Hawaii and stuff, I was just fat, period. And then as I got into my career, I just put on more weight. Like dealing with nursing and trying to figure that out, paying student loans, being lonely and by myself. I put on more weight.
You were a poor, lonely bastard when I met you.
I sure was.
That's why I told you to get a dog, which you did.
Yeah,
the day before we started dating.
Yeah.
He's right there.
But that made buying scrubs quite difficult because you would buy scrubs that fit, that you could get on.
Yeah.
But then they were circus tent voluminous in areas that you didn't want them to be voluminous because they just cut these big square fabrics.
Yeah, they do.
Right? Like the most basic pattern, no tapering, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you had them so that they weren't tight on your big belly, they were massive under the shoulders or huge on the hips. Like they were just like balloon pants. Like it was just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always kind of hated scrubs. Now when I started to lose weight, and which was really good, and once we got together and stuff, lost a lot of weight, and was enjoying wearing scrubs and having good scrubs and stuff. But pandemic and having a toddler and stuff like that put all the weight back on, which sucks. But we're working on that.
Making progress.
But I was happy wearing the scrubs that the hospital provided.
Yeah.
Except I'm funny. I have short legs and a long torso.
Yeah, interesting fact. Dave's inseam is not even 2 inches longer than mine.
Yeah, it's almost.
And
the
he's
same.
like a foot taller than me.
Yeah, it's really weird. I have shorter legs
so
and a long torso, and I have a gut. The nursing scrubs come to like my belly button.
Yeah.
I got like crop top. I got like a crop top, and it's like if when I'm standing there.
Yeah.
And not doing anything is fine. But the minute I start doing any physical activity, which nursing is a lot of physical activity.
Boosting people, rolling people.
I'm just like, I can't. So I'd have to wear an undershirt, but then my scrub, it was ridiculous. I hated it. And especially as I put the weight back on, it became more and more prominent.
Yeah.
So, at first I went from, okay, I'm just going to wear a nice t-shirt, but still wear the scrub bottoms.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, I'm getting to the point where the scrub bottom size that I'm wearing are not necessarily the most comfortable things to wear all the time. But the next size up is like, even for me, they were way too big.
Yeah.
Like there was no like happy medium between. So now, honestly, right now, my most comfortable go-to is just having like my own athleisure or athletic wear that I get from a company that makes good clothes for big guys.
Yeah.
Which, is fine. They're just a solid color, black, easily washable, like you can run them through the wash 1,000 times. Like they're great.
Yeah.
They're not scrubs. And so I kind of feel, especially like on our floor, because most people wear the hospital greens.
Yeah.
I kind of feel out of place a little bit sometimes. Like, that's the fat kid who can't wear scrubs.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I've also, this year, mental health, going back to one of our earlier podcasts, I've also learned to just accept that and talk about it and not ignore it through omission.
Yeah.
I'm fat. I put weight on. It's fine. It's not fine, but I'm working on it.
Yeah, you are.
Right? And right now I have to do and wear what makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And so that's not wearing scrubs.
I don't even know if we have a hospital or like a health authority dress code that mandates that you must wear scrubs. Is there?
Probably not, but if I was wearing like jeans and a t-shirt on the unit, I probably would get talked to. Probably.
I mean, I probably shouldn't know that there's a dress code. I've never...
There is a dress code. I don't know if it specifically says scrubs.
Yeah.
It talks about... Actually, I am remember that. It talks about appropriate attire for work.
Yeah. But doesn't specify scrubs.
No, and who gets to determine what's appropriate attire, right?
Yeah. Okay, so along those lines then, I don't feel like dress code or professional dress, any of those sort of things, it's never come up in my career. I know there's like big stories that have gone on about some outrageous dress code requirements in the States or whatnot that have come up and made the news. But that's never come up at all in my career.
Sure.
However, nursing school, different story.
Oh, yeah, nursing.
Strict dress code about scrubs and whatnot.
Like detailed, these are the color of
crazy.
shoes.
Yes.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yes.
Yeah, the
we
whole thing.
We were supposed to wear white shoes. We could do white or black. And we weren't actually supposed to wear black scrubs though. And we definitely were not allowed to wear all black. So you could have black pants. That was one like they would allow. But they didn't want you to wear dark colors.
What was the reasoning for that?
Well, of course, because apparently it's morbid and we would make patients depressed if we were dressed in all black. Yeah. So, and they didn't even... Because
that's what's going to make your dying stage 4 cancer patient depressed is your scrubs.
Is your black scrubs when you walk in the room with the medication.
Sometimes is overreaching in what they think.
It is. But I don't know about your school. My school at the time was run by a lot of people who came out of like the hospital nursing education system, which was very much like a nunnery. They controlled your life while you were there in nursing school. So that was still their mentality when it came to education. Like, you're here for us to control your life and mold you into this professional that we think that you should be. Yeah. And like how you dressed was still part of it. They wouldn't even let us have more than one earring.
I think earrings was a thing for my school. If I remember correctly, you had to just wear a solid color scrub.
Yeah, solid color scrubs.
It didn't dictate that you couldn't wear black. I don't remember. I don't think so, though. White shoes. The logo was allowed to be a color, but the shoes themselves had to be white.
Oh, yeah. Ours had to be all white.
Yeah.
Was the deal. And it was supposed to be lighter colors. The only reason they made the exception with like black pants is we had 2 guys in our program who spoke up and they're like, it is impossible to find scrubs for guys that are not dark colors, right? So you got to give us something. Got to give us something here. And and then we all had to like pin a badge on and have like our name tag pinned on as well, which when I got my school name tag with a pin in it, I was like, hell's no, am I pinning this for 4 years on whatever I'm wearing, scrubs or other school stuff? I immediately took it home. I cannibalized one of my name tags from like a restaurant I used to work on that had the magnet clip. Just ripped that stupid pin right off, put the magnet clip on my first day of school. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this shit.
We had to sew ours onto our scrubs.
Technically, we were told that we were supposed to sew, but then they said, because then they would have made it, then we would have had to buy a ton of patches, and they charged us like, I don't know, something stupid. It was like $30 a patch or something.
Oh yeah,
and then,
ours was like $5 a patch. It wasn't.
I mean, maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly, but I feel like it sounds about right for the school I went to. I feel like they were just really expensive, and so because like we were students and it was multiple years, we managed to convince them to let us like pin it on to our scrubs. So now I think the school I went to, they have just a school issue scrub top, and then you buy your own bottoms.
Oh, okay.
But I think they specify what color your bottoms, like your scrub bottoms, are now. Yeah. What was the first pair of scrubs that you ever bought?
Some generic $20 unisex clown costume.
Do you still have them?
No.
As soon as hanging on to 14-year-old
As soon as I started making
here.
money, I bought better scrubs, and then as soon as I started losing weight, I got rid of all my fat scrubs.
Yeah, fair. Okay, here's a question. This actually came up for debate a lot in nursing school, and I don't know whether it's a debate or not still anywhere in nursing realms, but I had a lot of instructors who wanted to talk about like having an actual uniform, like people being expected to wear like a white shirt and black pants, or wearing hospital issued scrubs where they all look the same so you can tell what profession is what profession, right? Because like you said, anyone on our floor that comes onto the floor is wearing scrubs. They could be the doctor, they could be the unit clerk, they could be there from the lab, they could be respiratory therapy, they could be nursing, they could be our care aide. We're all wearing scrubs, and it can be confusing. It can get confusing. And have you ever worked in a hospital where like they designated colors or uniforms for different professions? No, I've seen them, but I've seen them more like online, like out of the States. Yeah. I don't know if it's a thing in Canada. Could be, but I've only worked at 2 hospitals, so. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. How do you feel about that? Man, I kind of not saying that everybody doesn't get to wear scrubs. Yeah. But nurses wear these scrubs and. Yeah. I think it would make it less confusing for the public and for patients to know who they're talking to and who's coming in. To be fair, we're also supposed to be wearing a name tag with our designation and stuff, right? But which is a 50-50. Well, also, like, it's impossible to get a name tag. It's so hard to, like, if you lose it, it's hard to get one replaced. Anyways, that's a whole nother issue. I think that would be my main argument, a pro argument that I would listen to, or that would like make sense to me. The only argument that I really think is like, oh yeah, that would be something that could potentially win me over to that idea of like each profession wearing certain types of scrubs is just that it makes it so much less confusing for patients and families to know who they're talking to and who they're dealing with. Yeah, but I think if you're going to start dictating that, then you need to start supplying that. I agree. I agree. If you were going to have like a really strict dress code, then you need to not be forcing your nurses to buy scrubs. Then you should be supplying them. Yeah, or provide a uniform budget. Yeah. That if they want to get better stuff. Yeah. As long as it falls within the like kind of like a boot allowance, like you get like a scrub allowance. Yeah. Oh, we should tell our union to like bargain for that next time around.